We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. The world is just going crazy. Maybe Earth is actually an insane asylum for the United Federation of Planets or something. Did it just drop all the really crazy human beings onto this rock and say, that's all we got to deal with these people? Because you have to wonder with all the stuff that's going on around here. You probably heard the breaking news. There's been a shooting incident in Paris. At least 2 attackers. Some police have been killed, or at least 1 police officer in the Champs-Élysées. 1 suspect has been shot and killed. 1 other is still being searched for. Central Paris in a lockdown. It's becoming a lifestyle over there. State of emergency. And what's really interesting, this is only happening just 3 days before the start of the elections. And so this is going to have a tremendous impact in terms of the question of the open borders issue. Because all of this craziness has happened ever since France's government got on board the New World Order agenda and said, we're going to go ahead and open the borders and anybody can come on here. We're not going to check if you're criminals. We're not going to check if you're carrying contagious diseases. I mean, we got a really good healthcare system in France. If you make people sick, well, we can handle that. So we're going to see what's going on with that. Trump and the Italian Prime Minister are having a press conference. Still don't know exactly what they're saying yet. We're going to have to catch up on that one as well. Anyway, the phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. Mike is in our control room, ready to answer the phone. Getting on back to the war zones, more and more people are speaking out against this story about Assad gassed his own people, and they're trying to up the ante, saying that the UN chemical weapons inspectors have found traces of sarin gas in the area. But we've been down that road before when they were trying to claim that Iraq had chemical weapons. And the question was raised if the U.S. representative on the team had actually used one of the reference samples to contaminate the environment, and they asked the U.S. for the reference sample, and the U.S. just burned the sample. So no comparison could be made on that. So, again, it doesn't matter what chemical test you do. The story was absurd on the face of it, and everybody's saying, yeah, that's basically what it was. And we're seeing articles in places like Raw Story, where Trump's missile attack on Syria was justified with fake intelligence. This is coming from various experts, intelligence experts, and basically saying it's fabricated intelligence, just like Saddam's nuclear weapons. How many more times do you have to be lied to before you're ready to stand up and shout at the government and the corporate media, you guys are full of it and I am not listening to you anymore? Now, as you know, that MIT professor is out there, and he's come out with more observations, basically saying that the videos by the white helmets don't seem to actually match Idlib itself in terms of the geology, the visible weather, and so forth. And we put up another video on whatreallyhappened.com where the white helmet shows how they fake videos. They're actually saying, yes, we're manufacturing the propaganda here. Now, the Russian Defense Ministry is questioning the videos. It's coming from the white helmets, which we know have a bias. They're being promoted as the good guys. They've got a documentary and an Academy Award, and they're wonderful. You should believe them because they've got an Oscar. And again, it's just more fakery here. Now, another analysis that is contradicting the OPCW. The OPCW is saying their first tests are showing there might be traces of sarin gas in the area. But other observers are looking at what happened, and in particular, the lack of protective clothing for the rescuers. If sarin had been used, touching the victims with ungloved hands would contaminate the rescuers. They'd get sick, or they would die. And basically, the visible evidence is consistent with the use of chlorine gas, which we know the U.S.-backed rebels have been using. In any event, remember, Mike Pence actually admitted the cruise missile attack into Syria and the Moab bomb into Afghanistan were done to bluff Kim Jong-un down in this confrontation. And that's as much as admitting that the cruise missile attack was based on a false flag, justified with a false flag. They were saying, we need to show our muscle in Syria. We need to show that we mean business. We just need an excuse. Well, we'll say that Assad gassed his people again, and Those Americans, they're too stupid to remember how we were caught lying about Assad gassing his own people in 2013 and 2014. So the story once again is mutating. They're pulling off the chemical weapons attack because nobody's buying it. And Nikki Haley is now going back to the need for a humanitarian intervention in Syria. The justifications keep changing. Assad is a tyrant. No, Assad wins his elections. Well, Assad is using chemical weapons on his own people. No, that's not him. Well, we need a humanitarian war. Any excuse that will work to keep the war going. And the bombs keep on dropping, and innocent people keep on being killed.